The sun hung low over the vibrant fields of Nimra, casting a warm golden hue across the vast landscape. Lyra, with her luminescent blue skin and long, flowing silver hair, stood at the edge of a cliff, staring into the shimmering horizon. Her heart raced as she anticipated the arrival of the Terran delegation. The elders had spoken of this day with both reverence and fear. The human race, known for both their creativity and their unpredictability, was about to step onto her world. Next to her stood her friend Kale, a fellow Namari and member of her village council. He was tall and sturdy, his features sharp yet kind, and his curiosity often got the better of him. "Are you ready for this, Lyra?" Kale asked, his voice filled with concern. "This could change everything for us." Lyra sighed, her gaze still fixed on the horizon. "It's no longer in our hands, Kale. Destiny has brought them here." The words felt heavy. She had always believed in the wisdom of the prophets, but a small part of her longed for a different path, one that was hers alone. "Destiny?" Kale scoffed, tilting his head. "You're going to let some ancient words dictate our future? Look at them. They're just humans." Lyra turned to him, a glimmer of defiance in her eyes. "And what if they really can help us? The prophecies say they are our chance for peace." Before Kale could respond, an echoing sound filled the air, a metallic thrum followed by a soft hum. The delegates had arrived. Lyra's heart quickened. She straightened her posture, smoothing her flowing robes as the sleek Terran ship touched down with a gentle flourish. The ramp descended and two humans emerged. At first, they seemed average, but Lyra felt an unexpected jolt when her eyes landed on the taller one, a man with dark hair and piercing green eyes. His gaze swept across the landscape, taking in the beauty of Nimra. Lyra felt as if he looked straight into her soul. "Greetings," the man called, stepping forward with a confident stride. "I'm Ethan. We're honored to be here." He flashed a charismatic smile, instantly putting the gathered Namari at ease. Lyra exchanged a glance with Kale as he whispered, "He's not what I expected." "Neither am I," she replied, her voice barely audible. Before long, the Terran delegation and the Namari gathered in a spacious clearing adorned with glowing flowers and shimmering stones. The atmosphere was thick with anticipation as negotiations commenced. Elder Rasha, an imposing figure adorned with ancient symbols, led the discussion. "Your species is known for its ingenuity, but your history is marred by conflict," Rasha began, his voice resonating with authority. "We seek to understand your intentions and, most importantly, to foster peace." Ethan dipped his head. "That's why we're here? Humanity has often acted out of ignorance, but we've learned from our mistakes. We want to establish a mutual alliance, one built on trust." Lyra observed every word exchanged, drawn in by Ethan's sincerity. As the talk stretched on, Lyra found herself wandering closer to the humans. The dialogue shifted toward deeper themes, and the energy in the air felt electric when Ethan locked eyes with her again. "What is your role in all this?" he asked, genuinely curious. "I am a member of the council," Lyra replied, her voice steady. "I?" She was abruptly interrupted by Kale, who stepped in, defensive. "Why should we trust you? Your kind has caused enough chaos. How do we know this isn't just another trick?" Ethan remained unfazed, facing Kale with calm confidence. "I understand your concerns. Trust must be earned, and we're willing to show that we come in peace." Lyra stepped forward, feeling her heart race. "Kale, we need to give them a chance. The prophet spoke of this meeting. Perhaps it's a step forward." Kale shot her a skeptical glance but stepped back, grumbling under his breath. Ethan could sense the tension, and he turned his focus back to Lyra. "What if we proposed something more than just words? How about an exchange of culture? We could learn from each other, share stories, and perhaps even experience each other's worlds." Lyra's curiosity piqued. "You wish to share stories?" His eyes brightened. "Absolutely. We've got a rich history filled with both triumphs and failures. I know it won't compare to your culture, but it would be fascinating to connect on that level." "Sounds like an interesting concept," Kale chimed in begrudgingly. "But we must discuss it further. Time isn't on our side." Ethan nodded. "Of course. This is just the beginning. We're here for the long haul." As the discussions continued, Lyra began to feel a bond forming between her and Ethan. At one point, while examining a strange silver artifact from Earth, their hands brushed together. A jolt of warmth surged through her, causing her breath to catch momentarily. She quickly pulled away, her heart racing. "Sorry," Ethan said, a hint of a smile playing on his lips. Didn't mean to startle you. Lyra smiled back, her cheeks betraying the butterflies within. It's all right, just unexpected. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of pink and purple, Lyra caught Ethan's gaze again. Isn't it beautiful? She mused, her voice barely above a whisper. It really is, he replied, sincerity in every word. Just like this place. Just like you. Lyra's heart skipped a beat, and for a fleeting moment, there was silence between them. A moment steeped in possibilities. As the discussions drew to a close, both sides had made small strides toward understanding. Lyra felt a strange mix of hope and anxiety. Whether she liked it or not, this man, this human, had stirred something deep within her. She had always believed in destiny, but now, she felt the stirrings of choice, a possibility that had long been buried under the weight of expectation. Tomorrow, Ethan said as they parted ways, let's explore together. I want to see more of your incredible world. Lyra nodded, excitement bubbling up inside her. I'd like that. As she retreated back to her quarters, Lyra looked back at Ethan, who remained standing in the fading light. Something had shifted between them, and as she settled into silence, she knew that the journey ahead had only just begun. Chapter 2, Breaking Barriers ****. The morning sun cast a soft glow over the Nimaran fields, illuminating the myriad hues of the flowers that dotted the landscape. Lyra awoke with a sense of anticipation that flooded her senses. Today was the day she and Ethan would explore the wonders of her world together. She dressed quickly, pulling on a flowy garment adorned with intricate patterns, symbolizing her connection to her culture. Outside, she found Ethan waiting at the base of the Cliff of Visions, a massive rock formation that overlooked the valley. His presence was comfortable yet foreign, and she couldn't help but feel drawn to him. Morning, Lyra. Ethan greeted, his smile wide and infectious. Ready for our adventure? More than ready, she replied, her own excitement bubbling to the surface. As they set off towards the valley, the air hummed with life. Vibrant creatures flitted about, while the sounds of the flowing river nearby created a serene symphony. Your world is stunning. I've never seen anything like it, Ethan said, his voice filled with wonder. We pride ourselves on nature's beauty, Lyra responded, her heart swelling. It inspires our art, our stories, everything. Ethan looked thoughtful for a moment. Art? Tell me more about that. What do you create? Lyra glanced sideways at him, gauging his interest. We create tapestries that tell tales of our ancestors, of battles fought and love found. Each thread is a piece of our history. That sounds incredible, Ethan replied, genuinely intrigued. Can you show me one? Of course. We have a collection in my village, she said, eager to share. But first, I want to show you the blooming glade. It's where the flowers sing. The flowers sing? He asked, an eyebrow raised in playful skepticism. Yes. You'll see, she teased as she picked up her pace, leading him down a winding path. As they approached the glade, Lyra took a deep breath, the perfume of blooming flowers enveloping her. She waved her hands in grand gestures. Behold! Ethan stepped into the glade and his breath caught. The flowers were magnificent, each petal glistened brightly, and as a gentle breeze swept through, they swayed and produced a soft, melodic sound. It felt like nature was serenading them. This is amazing, he exclaimed, spinning in circles to take it all in. It's like a dream. Lyra laughed, watching his joyful reaction. Would you like to dance with the flowers? Dance, he echoed, eyebrows raised. Just follow my lead. She stepped forward, her feet moving lightly as she twirled among the petals. Just feel the rhythm of the glade. Ethan hesitated but quickly joined her, mirroring her movements and laughing as he stumbled a bit. The flowers swayed lower as they danced, the sound intensifying and enveloping them. Soon, joy radiated from both of them, a connection deepening with every step. We make a good team, Lyra called out, laughing. Absolutely. I'd call us a duo for the ages, Ethan replied, a glint of mischief in his eyes. He lunged forward playfully to spin her, causing her to erupt in laughter as she turned into a gentle spin, her hair flowing behind her. As the music of the flowers began to fade, they found themselves panting and smiling, catching their breath. That was incredible, Ethan said, still catching his breath. I wish I could share this with my friends back home. Why not? Once the treaty is signed, we can share our worlds, Lyra said, her eyes sparkling. We could bring moments like this to both sides. Ethan looked thoughtful. Do you think they'd understand its beauty? What if they resist? Change can be frightening, Lyra murmured. But there's always a path forward. They fell silent for a moment, both lost in thoughts about their worlds and how they intersected. Then Ethan broke the silence. So, about those tapestries, do you have one that tells a significant story? We do. One of the greatest tales is of the Skyfire, a great dragon that once roamed the skies of Nimera. Lyra began. It fought for justice and protected our ancestors from the shadows. It's said that it can still be seen flying across the night sky. Wow, Ethan exclaimed. I'd love to see that tapestry and hear more about the Skyfire. Then let's go, Lyra replied enthusiastically. It's not far from here. As they walked back toward her village, Ethan looked at Lyra, curiosity dancing in his eyes. What drew you to the council? I mean, you seem so vibrant and full of life. Why put yourself in a position of responsibility? Lyra pondered for a moment. I've always desired to protect my culture and our way of life. But it's also about more than duty. I want to create a future where everyone thrives, including you, the Terrans. Our worlds can align. Ethan hesitated, considering her words. Isn't that risky? Aligning with my people means opening your doors to a lot of unknowns. True, Lyra replied firmly. But isn't there beauty in uncertainty? In the choices we make? Ethan nodded slowly. I like that perspective. You're really passionate about this. I am, she said, her voice reflecting her belief. And I think you're here for more than just negotiations. There's a spark between us, Ethan. It feels like fate. Or maybe just a coincidence? He suggested gently, but the twinkle in his eyes indicated he was intrigued. Or a choice, Lyra countered playfully, brushing her fingers against his. As they reached the village, Lyra led Ethan to a large communal hall where the tapestries were displayed. This is one of our most prized pieces, she said, waving her hand toward a vibrant tapestry that depicted the Skyfire soaring through the night sky, surrounded by stars. Ethan stepped closer, examining the intricate patterns and the way the colors blended seamlessly. This is stunning. You can practically feel the energy in the air. Lyra beamed with pride. Each thread is a story woven with intention. Do you have a favorite tale? He asked, genuinely curious. Yes, she replied softly. The story of the first Namari who discovered the blooming glade and learned to listen to the flowers. It's how we've honored nature ever since. Tell me about it, he prompted, stepping closer, intrigued. As Lyra began recounting the tale, their hands brushed together again and the air hung heavy with an unsaid promise. As she recounted the legend, Ethan leaned in, captivated not just by her words but by the connection growing between them. I never thought I'd learn so much from someone like you, he said, his gaze locked onto hers. Someone like me? Lyra raised an eyebrow teasingly. Someone so different yet relatable, he clarified, a smile spreading across his face. You make it easy to see the beauty in it all. Let's explore that beauty together, Lyra suggested, feeling emboldened. Let's turn these tales into a shared future. I'd like that, Ethan responded, his voice warm and sincere. As they lingered near the tapestry, Lyra felt an inexplicable pull towards Ethan. Despite their different worlds, she believed her choice to embrace this connection, might just change the course of history for both them and their civilizations. Ready to create more memories together? She asked with a grin. Ethan laughed absolutely. Let's make this day unforgettable. And as they stepped out into the sunlit day, every shared glance and laugh felt like the dawning of a new era where destiny met choice and the future awaited. Chapter 3, A Moment of Choice ****. The afternoon sun dipped low in the sky, casting long shadows over the lush hills of Nimera. Lyra and Ethan wandered through a field of vibrant flowers, their laughter mingling with the rustling leaves. Today promised exploration, but Lyra felt an electric tension growing between them, something both thrilling and terrifying. Have you ever tasted Nimera fruit? Lyra asked, her eyes sparkling with excitement. Tasted? No, but I'm open to trying anything. Ethan replied, grinning. Good. I think you'll like it, Lyra said, leading him toward a grove bursting with vivid trees laden with colorful spheres. These are called sunstones. They're sweet and tangy like nothing you've ever had before. As they reached the grove, Ethan picked a sunstone and inspected it. It looks like a giant marble. How do I eat it? Just bite into it. Don't be afraid. Lyra encouraged, her laughter ringing out when he took a hesitant bite. Ethan's eyes lit up and his grin widened. Wow, this is amazing. It's like a burst of sunshine in your mouth. See? Told you. Lyra giggled, taking one for herself and mimicking his expression, her cheeks bulging humorously. They continued tasting different fruits and laughing, but as they wandered deeper into the grove, they stumbled upon a small clearing. The sunlight filtered through the leaves, casting dappled shadows on the ground. Wow, this place is incredible, Ethan said, scanning the area. It feels intimate. Like it's just for us. Exactly, Lyra agreed, feeling a warmth bloom in her chest. This is where I come to think. To escape from everything. It's perfect, Ethan said, eyes bright. He took a step closer, his tone shifting to something more serious. Lyra, can we talk? Of course, she replied, her heart racing as she sensed the change in his demeanor. He took a deep breath. You know, you've opened my eyes to a lot. The way you see the world, it's refreshing. I've met so many people who just follow the rules, but you actually challenge them. Thank you, but it's easy with you, Lyra said nervously. You challenge me too. Good, Ethan said, taking a step forward. I think we're both at a crossroads, though. You have your duties, your counsel, your destiny, she finished for him, her voice tinged with apprehension. Yes, he said, nodding. I don't want that to pull you away from what could be us. Lyra's heart raced and she looked down, collecting her thoughts. Ethan, you know my people don't easily accept change. My role in the council is huge. If I abandon that for a connection, it'll raise questions. I understand that, he replied, stepping closer, the heat of his presence lingering. But have you thought about what you want? The question hung in the air like a challenge, and Lyra felt her heart pounding. She had spent her life following the path laid out for her, but here was a chance to choose something different. Before we met, I never thought I could feel this much, she admitted, her voice softer. Neither did I, he said, his gaze intense. But it's here, Lyra. This feeling, it's real. With a sigh, Lyra sat on the grassy floor, drawing her knees to her chest. What if it gets complicated? What if it goes wrong? Her voice cracked slightly with uncertainty. What if it goes right? Ethan countered, kneeling beside her. What if we explore this artistically or romantically and it leads to something extraordinary? She looked into his eyes, searching for assurance. You would risk everything for this? It's not a risk if I believe in it, he said, his voice steady. And I believe in you. In us. The weight of his words settled into Lyra's chest, both calming and exhilarating. But how can we balance our worlds? Your people and mine? It's not just about us, Ethan. What if we start small, he suggested. We could share our cultures, learn from each other, and as we build trust, we can explore the possibilities in whatever this is. That sounds nice, Lyra said, biting her lip as she contemplated the idea. But what if my council doesn't accept it? What if I disappoint them? Ethan reached out, his hand enclosing hers gently. You won't disappoint them by exploring happiness. They need to see the value in what we're creating together, what could potentially unite our worlds instead of divide them. Do you truly believe that? Lyra asked, searching his eyes. Absolutely. I think if we want it badly enough, we can show them how beautiful this connection can be. He paused, leaning in slightly. And even if they reject it, it's still your choice. Choices are power, he continued. His words resounded in her mind, and Lyra felt a sense of clarity emerge. You're right, she admitted, squeezing his hand. With a sudden boldness, Lyra leaned in closer, her breath mingling with his. Ethan, I don't want to push this away. I want to explore, to see where this goes. Me too, he murmured, his eyes flickering to her lips, then back to her eyes. The air crackled between them, charged with possibility. Slowly, Lyra moved toward him, her heart pounding louder with anticipation. As their lips met, a spark ignited in the space they shared, a gentle pressing, exploring, and building. It felt surreal yet grounding. Time seemed to slow as they lost themselves in the moment, breathing each other in, every worry dissipating like morning mist. As they pulled apart, their foreheads still touching, Lyra murmured, This feels right. Ethan smiled, brushing a stray strand of hair behind her ear. It does. But I want to make sure we're truly ready for whatever comes next. Lyra nodded, her heart still racing from the kiss. Let's take it one step at a time. Agreed. Exploring, Lyra suggested, a playful gleam in her eyes. Where to next? Ethan quipped, grinning. The Silver Lake, she said, excitement bubbling within her. It's even more magical when it reflects the night sky. Lead the way, Ethan replied, his tone encouraging. With a newfound sense of determination, Lyra guided him forward, their bond growing stronger as they together carved their unique path, a journey fueled by choice and burgeoning affection, one step at a time. Chapter 4, Destined Paths ***. The Silver Lake glimmered under the starlit sky, its surface reflecting a cascade of celestial lights. Lyra stood at the water's edge, feeling a sense of peace wash over her as the cool breeze whispered through the trees. Tonight felt different, it was as if the air crackled with the promise of endless possibilities. Are you ready for this? Ethan asked, approaching her, his face lit by the moonlight. He carried 2 small luminescent orbs, a local delicacy known for their light food and flavor. Ready as I'll ever be, she replied, her voice steady but her heart racing. This place, it's beautiful. Just like the stories you told me, he said, handing her one of the orbs close enough for their fingers to graze. And it's even better in person. Just wait until you see the stars reflected on the water, Lyra said, her excitement palpable. It's breathtaking. They moved closer to the water, dipping their feet into the cool liquid. The surface rippled as they settled down side by side. Wow, Ethan gasped, gazing at the reflection of the stars. It's like the universe is right here with us. Lyra smiled, feeling the warmth radiating from his presence. This lake is special. The legends say that if you gaze into its depths closely enough, you can see your own future. Really? Is that how it works? Ethan asked, tilting his head curiously. Kind of, Lyra replied, chuckling softly. But you have to be sincere in what you're searching for. There's a choice you have to make, and it's important that you see it clearly. Ethan turned to her, eyes serious. And what about us? What do you see? Lyra hesitated, the weight of the question heavy between them. I see connection. A challenge, but also growth. And your council? He asked, probing gently. What happens when they find out about this? I'm still the council member they expect, she said, her tone tinged with uncertainty. But I can feel that I have to carve my own path. It's just complicated. Ethan leaned closer, dipping a finger into the water, creating small ripples. Do you think they'll understand? Eventually, maybe, Lyra answered, her gaze focused on the water. But it'll take time. Maybe they'll see the value in what we're doing together. But will it be enough? Then we'll show them, he said, resolve hardening his voice. Let's make them see we can work together. And how do we do that? Lyra asked, puzzled. Well, for starters, we could organize a gathering. Bring both of our worlds together, Ethan suggested, his enthusiasm building. We can showcase our cultures, share stories, and maybe even involve some fun activities. Lyra tilted her head, intrigued. A gathering? You mean like a festival? Exactly. We could blend traditions, he said, his eyes shining with excitement. Think about it, Nimran art combined with Terran music, cultural exchange booths, and maybe a food fair. We could get everyone involved. Wow, Lyra breathed. That sounds wonderful, but a little overwhelming. Do you really think we can pull it off? Of course. He placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. Once we start getting people involved, they'll feel the excitement. It's about creating connections. Lyra felt a surge of warmth at his touch and she smiled. You really believe in this, don't you? I do, he said earnestly, his gaze unwavering. And I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I want to show your people the good that can come from this. Taking a deep breath, Lyra examined the water again, feeling the weight of what they had just discussed. You're right. It could be a great opportunity. Exactly, Ethan replied, grinning. Imagine how wonderful it would be if we changed perceptions together. The council might even come around. As the conversation deepened, Lyra felt emboldened. All right, let's make this happen. We can start planning right away. Fantastic. Ethan exclaimed, his enthusiasm infectious. We should brainstorm ideas right now. What themes do you think would resonate most? Maybe we can include the tale of the Skyfire? It embodies strength and unity, Lyra suggested, her face lighting up with excitement. Great idea. I can bring some folk tales from Earth. Those often tell of heroes overcoming obstacles. How about combining that with dance? Ethan said, gesturing animatedly. Dance? Lyra laughed. You think my people would be open to Terran dance styles? Why not? It's a chance for creativity, he replied, a touch of mischief in his voice. Plus, who wouldn't want to see you dance? Perhaps a traditional Nimaran dance could be a highlight, she mused, her eyes sparkling. It's part of our culture. Let's do it. We can have a showcase with performances from both sides, Ethan suggested, his energy palpable. I can already imagine the costumes for the festival. Lyra exclaimed. And what about food? My mother makes the best sunstone pastries. Sunstone pastries? Now you're speaking my language. Ethan laughed. And we'll never run out of options from Earth. Pizza, tacos, all creative facets we could share. Pizza? Lyra echoed, curious. Is that some Nimaran delicacy? Ethan chuckled. You'll see. It's quite the experience. As they discussed details, time seemed to slip away. The stars twinkled above as Lyra felt a sense of purpose blossoming within her. Together, they were forging something unique and powerful. Ethan, she said suddenly, thank you for believing in this. In us. He turned to her, the softness in his eyes warming her heart. Thank you for taking this leap with me, Lyra. You're stronger than you know. Their eyes met and she felt a rush of emotions. This was new territory, both exciting and frightening. Sparks were igniting all around them, not just for their cultures but for their growing connection. You know, Ethan continued, this gathering could also symbolize the merging of our worlds. It could create a sense of unity that neither side could ignore. I like that perspective, Lyra said, reassured. And it's about time we challenged what has kept us apart. Absolutely, he agreed, his voice filled with conviction. I'm all in, Lyra declared, standing tall. Let's shake things up. They both laughed, feeling buoyed by the energy of their plans. Okay, let's formulate a timeline and what needs to be done first, Ethan suggested, pulling out a small notepad from his pocket. We'll need to reach out to both sides slowly but surely. Agreed, she said, her enthusiasm bubbling over. This is about crafting something beautiful from what we already have. We can put together a proposal to present to the council. And I can prepare my people for the idea, share how wonderful this could be, he added eagerly. With their spirits lifted and their plans taking shape, Lyra felt a bond strengthening with Ethan. The atmosphere hummed with potential, and as they carried on into the night, she knew they were embarking on a journey that would change everything. This was the moment they began crafting their shared dream. Chapter 5, A New Dawn ****. The day of the festival had finally arrived. The vibrant colors of Nimura lit up under the morning sun as Lyra nervously brushed the fabric of her attire, a traditional dress adorned with symbols representing unity. Today represented not just a merging of cultures, but a leap of faith for both her people and the humans. Lyra, you look amazing, Ethan exclaimed, arriving at her side. He wore casual yet formal attire that complemented her outfit, sporting small Nimuran symbols that were swiftly stitched onto his earthly clothes. Thank you, Lyra said, feeling the warmth of his compliment. The moment their eyes met, her nerves settled slightly. How is everything coming along on your end? Ethan smiled, hands on his hips. Everything is set. The decoration team is putting up the last banners, and I've sent a group to retrieve the sunstone pastries. Speaking of pastries, did you manage to bring that pizza you promised? Lyra teased. Of course. Freshly baked and ready to impress, he grinned, then winked. Trust me, they'll be amazed. We should probably set up the taste testing booth for the pizzas next to your pastries. Great idea. I bet they'll love the contrast between our flavors, Lyra said, her excitement growing. As they walked toward the center of the village, the energy was electric. Namari and Terrans roamed the area, laughing and mingling. Their distinct clothing a colorful tapestry sprawled across the field. Look at this. People are actually participating, Ethan exclaimed, scanning the scene. I was worried they'd hesitate. Oh, they're naturally curious, Lyra said, beaming with pride. Cultural exchange may seem daunting, but once they see how engaging it is, they'll embrace it. A group of Namari approached, their expressions a mixture of skepticism and intrigue. Lyra took a breath, ready to face their apprehensions. Lyra, what is this bizarre combination? One of the villagers, an elder named Tarek, questioned, crossing his arms. Elder Tarek, it's a festival celebrating unity. We've invited our Terran friends to share their culture with us, Lyra replied, choosing her words carefully. Why must we engage with the humans? They've done nothing but bring chaos to our doors, Tarek said, scanning the assembled crowd with scrutiny. Ethan stepped forward, his demeanor calm yet assertive. I understand your concerns, Elder. We come here with the intent to create understanding, not chaos. Let us show you the beauty in our differences. Tarek eyed him closely, but there was hesitation in his gaze. And how can we trust you? By taking part in this festival, Ethan replied earnestly. Taste the food. Experience the stories we have to tell. You'll find that the foundation of both our cultures is not so different. Lyra could feel the tension evaporate slightly. Please give it a chance. We believe this will open doors between our worlds. After a moment of contemplation, Tarek uncrossed his arms, a reluctant acceptance in his voice. I will observe, but only for a short while. Wonderful, Ethan said, relief washing over him. Let's begin the festival. As the activities kicked off, laughter filled the air. Various stations were set up, one for traditional Nimuran dances, another for Terran games. Music floated through the air, blending their sounds into a harmonious blend. Welcome to the dance circle, Lyra called out, indicating the vibrant group performing traditional Nimuran moves. Feel free to join in. Ethan watched as more participants gathered around in curiosity. Lyra stepped into the center, demonstrating a few fluid movements, swirling effortlessly. She beckoned Ethan to join her, a grin plastered on her face. "Come on, show them what you can do." "What if I embarrass myself?" he said, laughing nervously. "Don't think about it. Just move," she encouraged. After a few moments of hesitation, Ethan stepped into the circle, attempting to mimic her movements with a combination of enthusiasm and awkwardness. The onlookers erupted in laughter and cheers, and Lyra couldn't help but join in as she watched him. "See? You're a natural at this," she shouted, eyes sparkling with encouragement. "And there's plenty more where that came from," he teased, spinning a little faster, both of them laughing as they found their rhythm. As they danced, Lyra felt the bonds between the two cultures start to solidify. People were laughing, mingling, and sharing stories. New friendships began to bloom in the atmosphere of joy surrounding them. While they danced, Lyra caught Elder Tarek's gaze across the circle, and to her surprise, he seemed more engaged than ever. Before long, she saw him join another group to try out the Terran games. "Look at him," Lyra exclaimed, pointing. "He's participating." "See? Small steps," Ethan said, smiling at her triumph. "We can do this. Our worlds can actually connect." With new energy coursing through her, Lyra turned back to Ethan, her heart racing at the moment. "Can you feel it? This could change everything." "It already is," he replied, his voice sincere. "And who knows what else we can accomplish together?" As the sun set, colors danced across the sky, illuminating the festival grounds with hues of purple and gold. Lyra and Ethan watched as the villagers embraced the festivities, their fears slowly melting away. "I'm so glad we decided to do this," Lyra said, her voice confident yet filled with warmth. "I couldn't have done it without you. I couldn't have asked for a better partner in this," Ethan replied, meeting her gaze. Their connection felt stronger than ever, and for a moment the world around them faded. "Hey, you too!" It was Kale, Lyra's friend and fellow council member, bounding toward them. "You won't believe the number of people trying the Sunstone pastries. It's a hit." "Really?" Lyra's eyes widened. "That's incredible. And the pizzas too," Kale added, excitement sparking in his eyes. Elder Tarek even complimented the combination of flavors. They thought the Sunstone's sweetness balanced the savory well. Ethan looked genuinely pleased. "That's fantastic. So it seems we're on the right track." As more Namari gathered around, the atmosphere buzzed with excitement and curiosity. Kale placed a hand on Lyra's shoulder. "You did it. You brought us together." The weight of Kale's words hit Lyra deeply. "We did this together," she affirmed, glancing at Ethan, who nodded in agreement. "And now we keep going," Ethan said, determination crossing his features. "This is just the beginning." As laughter filled the air and music resonated, Lyra felt a profound sense of purpose. The day had transformed into something breathtaking, an opportunity to shape a new future, to bring peace and connection and break the walls that had confined them for so long. Standing side by side with Ethan, Lyra realized they were no longer simply representatives of their cultures, but beacons for what could be achieved when two worlds dared to connect. In that moment, surrounded by laughter and celebration, Lyra knew this festival was more than just an event. It was the start of an adventure not only for her and Ethan but for all of Nimera and Earth. Together, they were ready for whatever came next.